Patrick.
This is Ryan Gillespie with the contractor Patrick. He's an estimator for Zero Mold.
You got it, yep.
And we are here on site doing a recording of the estimation.
All right, so like I told you, one thing about me, I'm very blunt and very honest, right? I am not a fear mongler. You have a lot of these guys who'll come out here and fear mongle people. I'm not that way. Even though this is a situation that I'm not about, that I'm explaining that doesn't go that way. So usually I tell people if insurance is paying for it, there's ways to do it. If insurance is, let's destroy the house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Protocol's not always right. There is a gray things to everything, gray to everything. You can do things. For instance, if you take every house in Florida and move every exterior wall, 90% have mold behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's just trapped, it's not getting to you. You know what I mean? There's ways to seal and do stuff. Now protocol is the best way to explain this, okay? Just like I said, protocol's not always right, but it's the best way to explain it. And when you're dealing with something like this, it has to be done protocol because you're trying to, she's owed HOA's fault, right? You know, reimbursement, things like that, okay? So there's three categories of mold and water. You have a 1, 2, and 3. Category 1 is if you have, let's say, a cup of water and you pour it on the ground. You can suck it up, dry it in place. You're completely fine, but you'll have damage, like swelling, buckling, things like that, right?
Yep.
Category 2 is if you have that same clean water and it filters through stuff like sheetrock, insulation, laminate, particle board, all that. It's still completely fine. You can dry it in place as long as you get it dry, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have damage, but you're cool. Category 3 is sewage and mold. Anything that it touches that's a porous material has to be removed, especially sewage. Now mold, if it's surface mold, you can clean it. If it's intrusion mold, kind of like that.
Yeah, like the black spot right here.
Yeah, if it's intruding from the other side, you have to demo it. So sheetrock, insulation, laminate, particle board, all that's trash. The only thing that's okay is concrete, tile, 2x4, metal, wood, solid surfaces, excuse me, all right? Now, everything in the world is wet.
Here, if you don't mind, I'll put you on video. Go ahead, because it goes to...
You're good. Everything in the world is wet. If you put a moisture meter on my hand, they'll say like 30 to 40, right around there.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with building materials, you have to be 16 and lower for it to be okay.
16% moisture.
Yeah, and lower.
Well, I can, before this came out, you could put your finger in it, it would squish down into the wall.
So
Yeah, it's still wet.
If you have 17% moisture for 72 hours, you will grow mold, all right?
Do you have a moisture meter?
I'm going to check it, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll check it, all right? And so you got to get it dry. And the worst thing you can do for mold is put a fan on it because you blow it everywhere. You can only use dehumidifiers.
Yeah, because it spores, right? And it transfers. I got
That's
you.
why AC unit mold's the worst mold because it pumps it everywhere and you can't see it because it's 1 to 20 microns. It just makes you sick. So protocol is going to state all that's got to go. Another thing is too, let's say mold stops right here. You have to go 2 feet this way, 2 feet that way, 2 feet this way until it goes stopping. So stop and then 2 more feet. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So these are problems too when you start opening things up, especially on an old building like this. For instance, let's say you had a water leak over here and that was the only damaged spot. I know for a fact, just off of experience, I'm going to have to demo that wall too. Because once I open it, I'm going to find some mold that's behind
Yeah, because it grows outwards.
Just the window and the door, just moisture coming in.
Right.
You're going to have to demo it. And that's another building on there. So here you start finding things.
The tenant here is actually complaining of getting headaches, and the neighbors are as well.
So here's another thing with that. So I go to a lot of houses where they'll have something like this, and they'll say, that's why I'm sick, that's why I'm sick. And it's like, for instance, a kitchen cabinet underneath it.
Right.
And it's like, you're not living there. There's no airflow on it. Not until someone opened it up. 90% of the time, the reason why they're sick is AC mold. And no one puts vinegar in their AC unit. So what will happen is that line will back up, not overflow, just hold water in the pan. Then when the fan turns on, pulls the water.
You're talking about the condensation lines.
And so it'll back up, and then it pulls it up into the coil on the fan. 17% moisture, 72 hours, you grow mold. Once you grow mold in that machine, you are now pumping it everywhere in the house. You just can't see it. So you're supposed to put vinegar in that pan or in that condensation line every month, but no one does it. And so I do a lot of AC work where I take the fan out, the coil.
I go to school next month for it. Literally, I'm taking my first course next month for HVAC. I'm trying to just do installs, not service calls.
I do a lot of it. And so we've got a treatment where mold has a positive charge. So let's say you've got mold on all this stuff, okay? You probably do. The old school way is you have to go in there, HEPA vacuum wipe, and clean every inch of it. Thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? A house this big literally would cost you $10,000 to $15,000. We now can do it dramatically cheaper with a fog treatment. So mold has a positive and we have a smoke that's negatively charged, right? So I can fill this whole house with smoke, and what it does is it attracts the mold and it vaporizes or neutralizes. Now when I say vaporize, if it's 1 to 20 microns, it dissolves it. It's gone. It's out of here. If it's mold growth, like fuzzy black mold, and I fog it,
Like that, right there.
yeah, it won't disappear. It'll just neutralize it. You'll
To where
still
it doesn't,
see
yeah, it doesn't progress
It's
at that
dead,
point.
yeah. Well, if it's still wet, it's gonna keep growing. So you gotta solve that issue. But if it's dry and it's not getting wet anymore, it's dead. Now the problem is the way protocol is wrote is to remove mold, not treat it. All right. So that's why they won't accept that treatment. Now I still remove it, but if you just fog things, protocol won't, because if you test mold that's been fogged, it's gonna come back with whatever molecular modification, whatever mold it is. If it's staggy, penastrotomium, it's going to say that's what mold it is. And the problem is a tester will say, hey, look, it's there. They won't check the viral load. They won't try to culture it to see if it'll ever grow. It won't grow, but they won't ever test it. They'll just say, hey, it shows visibility. It's a fail.
Understood.
And protocol is just to remove it. And it's sad today, they still have never wrote a mold protocol. I know just told you protocol. They just copied all the lead asbestos protocol from the 50s. They just copied it.
I got you.
And so protocol is going to say, this is all going to come out. Another thing is, anything built from 1979 and lower is risk of lead and asbestos. How old is this building?
This is 80s, I believe,
80s.
early 90s
Early
on
90s.
this one. As for the asbestos and all that, we're not so much worried about that. We're mainly concerned about finding cause for the leak for this back wall.
I got you.
And there's a little bit upstairs as well. Whenever you're down here doing your moisture test, I'm going to go up there and take a look at that as well, because there's also a deck up there as well. And
So
the roof wasn't.
Tearing all this out is okay. So you don't have to tear asbestos out. It's lead, it's fine. It's only when it's disturbed, when it's pliable. So
Okay.
when you do disturb and tear things out, a lot of times I'll say commercial buildings all have to be tested, but the only reason I'm mentioning that is when you do disturb this, you have to have containment up so that if it is a risk of a lead and asbestos, it's not getting in the other part of the
Yeah,
house.
I'm a certified painter, so I know all about the
Yeah.
whole lead and asbestos
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
Yeah, I had to get certified for that.
You do have like these things here too. I mean, is the roof leaking?
It was, and then they put a roof on it a couple years ago,
And
and that was the damage from prior. And for the recording, we are showing the bubbles and the marks on the ceilings.
How long has this tenant been here?
This is not actually a tenant. He's a contractor that is currently just staying here at this residence. We had some squatters in here like a year ago.
Yeah.
No, like a couple months ago that had been in here for about a year. And before that, there was an active renter. And then all that damage on the ceiling right here, pointing all that out, that was all from the roof before they replaced it. But they replaced the roof, and now they're working on the decks. And this water damage here, that's another thing too that I wanted your opinion on. I'm almost positive it's coming from
Oh, it's definitely.
from this right here, where they just put tape over
Yeah, it's wind-driven rain pumping in all
the
that
Hardy
stuff.
board.
Yeah, it's wind.
And yeah, and then it really started bubbling whenever they secured the boards right there when they did the deck.
It's all wind-driven.
And it's not flashed correctly. You can't see flash behind it.
Yeah, especially with these tall buildings too. You can
But
get-
there